Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Civilizations of Minecraft. And yeah, we are off to a flying start on this one. I'm heading out on a little resource hunt. There are a few things that I really need before we can keep on moving forward here. And I have to say, flying feels incredible. It has been 3 months without flying, so it is amazing to finally have those wings back. But I'm also slightly stressed, because these elytras, they have 0 enchantments on them, none. So there is a very real chance that they break before I make back home. Or that I simply run out of rockets first. So let's see what happens. Which one gives up first, the elytra or my supply of rockets? And there are jungle trees. Perfect. Cocoa beans are very high on my list, and here they are. These are surprisingly useful. And I mean, who could resist a chocolate chip cookies, right? Obviously no one. And wow, this is actually really beautiful spot. I low-key fishing. This had been the location for my Viking village, but maybe one day we will come back here and build something here. We'll see. And there is a cactus that I wanted. Another pick item crossed off the list. Things are going well. Aside from the fact that I'm almost out of rockets and one elytra is already gone. Yep, this is going well. And yes, the third thing on my list, coral. So let me grab a bit of this and then we are officially more than good. Alright, time to head back home. And yeah, there is no way we are making this entire trip by flight. And there it is, the walk of shame begins. A couple thousand blocks to go, but honestly totally worth it. This is a successful resource run. So deserved. I deserved all of this. I should have had the unbreaking tree and everything else. And finally back at home. And first thing I want to deal with is that area with those trees. I need to do some landscaping. Now that I have cacti and cocoa beans, I can show you guys what I had in my mind. So what I wanted to build is something inspired by cattail plants, in Latin tufas. So you place green glass plate. What the heck? Excuse my French. So the way I do this is pretty simple. I place green glass panes like this to act as the stem of the plant, and then on top of that I add brown candle as the flower spike. You can also use green candle instead if you want it to look like flower is still a bud. I so wish that Minecraft would give us more plants that we could place by river banks and where water meets land. Because those areas in real life are really lush and full of life. But until then, we need to improvise. One thing I wanted to experiment with was whatever cactus flowers can be placed on top of glass panes. Yes, it turns out yes you can. And wow. It looks amazing, absolutely love this, and this can be really useful. This isn't the best location for them, but I already know I will be using this trick somewhere else. Honestly, really beautiful. And after that really important research, it is time to hit time lapse and get this area looking amazing. And time lapse done. Let's actually stop for a moment and take a proper look at this. I haven't seen it from distance yet, and yeah, that looks so much better. Changing the sand to dirt already makes a massive difference, but adding those small pushes here and there, especially where the water meets the land, that's really important part. It instantly makes everything feel more lush and alive. Little things you almost don't notice on their own, but together they completely change the scene. And off to another thing that I want to finish this episode. I don't actually know what is the best way to fill in these rivers or ponds like this, but the method that I use is ice blocks. You know, you place them down, break them, and they turn into water source blocks. And then I normally place them every other block, so the blocks in between also turn into a source blocks automatically. Is this the most efficient or correct way to do it? Probably not. But it does work, and honestly that's good enough for me, at least most of the time. Okay, the river is filled in now. I just need to remove these temporary barrier blocks I had in place, and we are done. Alright, let's take an aerial look at how this turned out. Yeah, I think the river really does its job. It completely changes how this whole area feels. Yeah, and I also wanted to leave that tiny island in the middle there. I think it is kind of cozy. Although I'm not entirely sure yet if I keep it like that. I'll probably sit with it for a bit and see how it feels over time. So that island is on a probation. With the river kind of finished, the next thing on my list is the fortress. More specifically, the fortress walls. I'm not starting the main fortress build yet, so no longhouse quite yet, but I really wanted to get the walls in place. The plan is fairly simple. Palisade walls made from spruce logs, alternating strip and unstrip, with the height changing along the way. And if that doesn't make sense right now, don't worry, it will in a moment. The main reason I wanted the walls done now is because I've been putting other builds off, not knowing how they would interact with the fortress. So having those walls will help me plan everything else and blend future builds into the area properly. So without further ado, let's build. Okay now. So my original idea was to only build the walls. And I'll be honest, once they were up, they looked not so great. I had a brief moment of doubt and yeah, very quiet internal oh no. So I decided to commit and I added gates. And honestly, that changed everything. It looks so much better now. With just the walls, it felt unfinished, but the gates really tied it together. I also managed to connect the design to the huts. The roof style matches, which makes everything feel cohesive. There are still some details I want to add to the walls, but I'll do those between episodes. So for now, this works. and I am really happy with it. This episode was honestly really relieving. I had a lot of doubts in my head about plans, designs, and whatever things would actually work together. But now that these walls are in place, everything feels clear now. It is so much easier to commit to ideas once you can see how things connect. Unfortunately, that's going to do it for this episode. I just want to say thank you. The amount of you watching these videos genuinely means a lot to me. I've never expected this many people to give their time to something I'm creating. So truly, thank you. I wish you all a lovely day and bye!